What's up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing. Super excited to come back to you tonight for more lake breakdowns. That's because we're finally finishing up Cedar Creek Lake Breakdown. We're finally done with Cedar Creek. This is not the Cedar Creek in Kentucky. I'm sorry. We'll start working on that. But this is the Cedar Creek Reservoir in Texas, and we are almost done with it from the Google Earth standpoint. Let's go ahead and jump in this video, talk about what we found. We're way far over on the west side now, making our way down towards the dam. I really like this area of the lake. Let's talk about what we found. Let's go. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into Cedar Creek. As you can see here on the screen, you can see all the different waypoints. This is our last video of the Cedar Creek Lake Breakdown like we talked about. But for those of you that may be starting last and then working your way back, I'll just talk to you really quick about what we have over here on the left-hand side. So you can see here, we've got it sorted by a couple different things, actually several different things. The first one would be channels and ditches. Those are going to be all these tracks that you see, these green highlighted tracks. Those are creek channels that we were able to find by pulling the water down. So if we get the water down to a certain depth, we can see where those creek channels are actually at and mark those for you on the imagery. So when you go up there and you fish them, you can make sure that you're staying inside the creek channel and know where all those key bends are and turns and things like that. We also have debris and covers. There's several different things for cover and debris that's out here. You've got shells, you've got brush, you've got debris, you've got timber, you got laydowns. There's all kinds of good stuff out there. So we went ahead and marked everything that we could find. And then also we have a lot of the offshore hotspots out there. Now we talked about this on the other videos as well, but the next video that comes out for Cedar Creek, we're actually going to be using the Navionics mobile boating app. And what we're going to do is go through and show you why we pick these places as key offshore places that we think you're going to be able to find some fish at. We also have ponds and roads. So not too many of those really on this lake that we could find. There's some up here on the northern side that you can see, and you can see these little orange spots. These are different ponds that we found. Pond dams can be money in the summertime. Definitely a good place to fish. We've also got all the different ramps here. If you ever fished Cedar Creek before, you'll know there are a billion, maybe not a billion, but there's a whole bunch of docks, and pretty much every dock seems to have a ramp somewhere close by to it. If you get on that ramp pattern, it is absolutely fire. On Cedar Creek because you got so many ramps to play around with. You've also got some different areas of rock. A lot of this rock is going to be up shallow. We've been talking about it on the breakdowns. A lot of it's going to be up really close to the seawalls and things like that. But there were times when we were able to find some rock that looked like it was a little bit further offshore. So we'll be able to mark, obviously, all that stuff for you guys. And then last but not least, we've got just some trees and some danger areas. Mainly, most of it, there's a little stump field back here by the bridge back here. But other than that, all of it really is concentrated more up in here where you just basically have a forest of trees. All right, so with all of that being said, I'm going to move this over. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and zoom in here. On the last video, we came in right out off of this point, and this is where we ended. Now, the image that you see right now, this is actually, it says 2021, so I could actually move it up to current date. So if I move it up to the current date, this is what it would look like. This is what it looked like in January of 2022. So we talked about this rock pile here. This thing looks really good, and there's some rock right off of that. But let's go ahead and draw this back to about 2014, if it'll let us. Between 2016 and 2014, this one's actually going to show it as 2016. Whereas before 2014 was giving us the image. So we're going to go back up to 20. Actually, we're in 2015 now. That one looks pretty good. Let's see if 16 gets into any better. Nope, looks like we're going to have to stick with 16. So that's what we're going to stick with. So we talked about that rock pile and obviously the rock around the edge of that. Now let's go down and just talk about the other stuff that we found here. And a lot of this, again, is that rock and debris and stuff like that that's up close to these docks. So a lot of these people are going to go down and just fish these docks, but they'll skip over the middle sections between the docks. And sometimes, not all the time, a lot of times it's just bare, but sometimes those middle sections are the honey holes. So you're just basically passing up your honey holes. So you always got to pay attention to what's between those docks. Right here, you've got a little rock pile. Over here, you've got Appears to be maybe an old ramp or something. If not, it's like there's a ramp and then maybe a lay down on this side or some fence posts. I can't tell what it is, but it's debris, and fish love to hang around debris. Also, back up in here, you've got rocks back behind these docks. Some more rock back behind here, and then rock around this point as well. One thing that was here that I was really interested in, I didn't mark it because I can't really tell what it is, but I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is just a big flock of birds sitting there. I think that's what it is. That's why obviously I didn't mark it, but it'd be worthy just to go over there and scan around and just see if there's anything there. There were some interesting things in this pocket, but I couldn't even validate them, so I didn't even mark them for you. But also, like up in here, like what is this? What is this really dark thing? Um, what is this? Is this potential brush, or is this just the image messing with me? Also, right in here. So there's something in here. Maybe this is an old pond dam, possibly. I don't really honestly have no idea, and I don't think I've ever gone back in this pocket to check this out, but that might be worthy of just kind of scanning around. So let me pull back, show you guys where I'm at. We started at this point that was right here. So we see we're about, I don't know, we're just above the dam. So the dam right here. So we're just above the dam, or whatever you call that. I'm going to call it the dam. We're just above that area. We're in that first pocket. So right here, I'd suggest going out here. For those of you guys that are watching the video, you're getting some bonus here because we might have found something that we didn't mark. But right in here, I would take a look at this whole area right in here. I'd see if there's some brush in there. I'd see if this is a pond dam. If it is, you might have some fish up in here. This looks like it could be some kind of a hard spot or something right there. And that, I don't know. That could be Google Earth messing with us, or it could be a brush pile, a big rock underneath there that's making a shadow. There's no telling, but go in that pocket and just check it out and see if you found anything. So let's keep moving on. We've also got a boat ramp over here. Pretty good little rip wrap around the back side of these docks. Obviously really shallow, but no, the water's way down here. If I move that water up to 2022, everything looks a lot different. You can actually tell there's rock there. It looks like they've even added some more along that side. But remember that hump that we saw back here, and the concrete and the twigs and stuff that appear to be in the water? I mean, all of that disappeared. So that means you could probably lose a lower unit right there, but nobody's gonna be going that fast there anyways. So let's go ahead and keep moving back to 2014 or 2016. We're going to move on down. We talked about that rock. The next area of rock really around these docks is going to be right around here, right off these points. And these are going to be great docks, right? I mean, this dock is off the edge of a point. It doesn't have any docks on this side of it, so it's somewhat isolated. I mean, you just know that's going to be a good dock. It's just standing there saying, "Hey, fish me," kind of like this one there is as well. And this one's got some rock around it too. Another community boat ramp back there. As we move on down, get a little bit further down here, some more ramps, just a little personal ramp. Didn't see too much along this whole area. Now in here, you're kind of restricted to where you can fish because you've got this little buoyed area, but you can still fish around the riprap around this side and over here on this side. And then you've got all of this riprap right around this dam area that's over here as well. And I caught a nice one right here on the corner one day. So I know this is a good area, good prime area to find them. If they're releasing water, then you get current there. So getting up on the sides of these things where that current is just kind of creating a break, almost like a river system, that makes these corners just unbelievable probably. So you would definitely want to fish around these corners, especially if they're letting water out. Get up in here and get on these sides. The fish will stage up here on the side as that current's pulling water through there. So definitely go take a look at that. We've also got some rock in here. Some more rock right in here as well. I kind of like this one much better than that. That's just some shallow rock by the dock. But if you look over here, this point's got some really healthy rock coming out of it. And it comes pretty far out. If we look at the image when we get up to 2022, again, no idea that was there. You'd probably just go fish that dock and never even think about that point. But now that you know that rock is there, hopefully you're thinking about that point, because those fish might be sitting on that rock instead of that dock, and you just totally, went right past them. So right in here, really good area right there. I think that would be a real good high percentage spot. As you move back here, this is interesting. This gets super shallow and then has a little pond back here, but I didn't see anything really good enough to really mark for you guys, other than maybe those pipes that are coming through there. Those fish like to relate to those pipes, but I just didn't see it worthy of making a mark. So then moving over here, we've got another point right in here. And then we're at Beechwood Estates Clubhouse and Pool. There's a little boat ramp there too. mean, I have to be pretty desperate on boat ramp patterns to be going back in there because I just didn't see anything really that looks worthy over here. But I definitely hit that little point there that has that rock. So let me back out and show you where I'm at real quick. This is where the dam is, and so we're just kind of moving on down here. We went into that little pocket, and now we're going to move over across this point. These points are going to be good. I didn't mark every single point, but if the fish were relating to points, I'd probably hit a lot of these main points. This one's got a little bit of a shallow top to it, so that one could be good. It may even be a point we talk about when we go to the offshore side. So we got some more rock around here along the seawall. Moving down, and we get around this point. Some pretty healthy rock back in here. I mean, this is some chunky stuff right in here. Right in there, you got some debris and stuff. You've got 3 isolated docks. I call them isolated. I know they're really not that isolated, but there's 3 of them right in a row, and they're kind of pinched in together. So, fish those 3 docks, fish that whole area, fish the 3 docks, and then get back behind them on these walkways and fish back in here as well. Because those are, that's where you're going to find some pretty good fish too. So then we're going to move back in here. We're going to get back along this stuff. I didn't see too much back in this back pocket. Did see this little brush pile right here. So maybe go check that out, but you'd have to be pretty committed. Maybe you're fishing docks, so then you could go check out that brush pile, but you'd have to be pretty committed to brush piles to go fish that one. That one looks pretty shallow, but it's still a brush pile, so it might be worthy. Another brush pile over here back behind this dock. Those are always good. And again, pull the water up. That brush pile's got some pretty good depth to it. This one's still pretty shallow, so I'm not sure it's going to be worthy or not, but this one here would definitely be worthy of checking out. Move this back to 2015, 2016. We're going to go over here off of this point. This point's got some interesting stuff always. It's got some shallow riprap, right? So you got that rock there. But I can't tell if this is, again, imagery messing with me, or really what it is. But this appears to be, pretty good looking point. It's got some washout right here, maybe a possible little mini ledge or something like that. This appears, which it's hard to say because I've seen this stuff on Google before and thought it was, twigs and stuff like that, and then go out there and there's nothing there. But appears to be some kind of debris out here as well. And then if you look underneath here too, I have no idea what that is, but there's something going on outside of this point. I'm just going to say that. I have no idea what it is. It's all kind of funky looking in the imaging, but I'm going to go over there and at least side scan it and just see, is there anything relating to that point? If it is, that could be some pretty good cover off the edge of that point. So just show you again where I was with that point. There's the dam. We were just right there at that point. Let's keep moving down. Talked about that point there. We're going to keep moving down. I didn't see too much in this area. There are some brush piles, just some little brush piles. Check out these. I'll show you these real quick. Little brush piles they put here. Right behind the dock. So again, you're fishing the docks. You just missed the money spot because you skipped right over it. It was right in the middle of the docks. So you can go look at that. There's some shallow rock here, some more shallow rock back up in here, and then, of course, some more right in here. These are all just really shallow rocks, so you definitely have to be on that pattern to make that effective, right? They're not always up there right on those seawalls like that, but there's a time of year when they like to hug up against those things, and when they do, and you can find the seawalls with the rock, to me, that is a wonderful pattern to run, and you've got plenty of that to do out here on this lake. As we get over here, back behind this little sailboat marina or whatever this is, we got a little boat ramp back here. So you can check out that boat ramp, kind of secluded, protected from the wind. We've also got another couple of spots where you've just got some pretty good rock. This rock comes out pretty far, actually, outside those docks. So that could be a pretty good little area, kind of little corner in there too. We've also got some rock here. And then as we move up, the best rock really is right here, right around this point. Comes out pretty far, coming off of a point. Obviously, that's much better as well. So I would check that out in there. You've got some more rock around here around that seawall and some additional rock right in here. Now, this point doesn't look as healthy, but at least it's got some rock up here. I mean, it gives it a little bit of a chance to be a decent point. Then we're going to move down this area in here. We'll probably talk about it from an offshore standpoint just by looking at this and just seeing that, hey, something's going on underneath the water. But we'll talk about that when we get to the Navionics side. But some more shallow rock here. There is some pretty decent little brush right in here, right off this point, kind of between those 2 docks right in there. That looks like someone put a brush pile there, so we marked that one. And then we're going to move down. We get into this area. This is what I was telling you about. Potentially an offshore spot that we'll probably talk about just based on the looks of of what this thing looks like. But if you look out here on this hump, I mean, this thing is bare. Like a couple twigs here and there, but there's no rock piles. There's birds, and there's a couple laydowns and stuff, but there's nothing really that great out there. The only thing that's good about it is the contour change. And maybe you'll have certain fish just relating around some of that cover that's down there, but we'll take a look at it on the mobile app and see if there's anything worthy of going over there. You got some boat ramps back in here. You can check out about 5 of them right there. Over in here on this dock, got the shallow rock here, but you also have some debris. It looks like an old rock pile that somebody made or something like that just inside of that dock in that area. Then I'm going to move on down, show you guys where I'm at. We're getting pretty close to the finish line right here. We're just right across from that sun roofing place now. Some brush piles, and this is a big brush pile. But you can't even hide that. You can't hide it. You can't hide it on Google Earth when it looks like you put just an entire tree, multiple trees down there. This is awesome. So you know it's going to be a good brush pile. So we're going to go check that one out. Moving down, another boat ramp here. I like these points. I really do. They really set up well. They're giant flats that come off, pretty far. So these are going to be great places in the fall and stuff like that when they're really staging on those points. But if you get far enough out here, right around where all these birds and stuff are, it appears to be maybe some rock or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell with all these birds being around here, but there's something going on right in here. And then if you look really closely, this looks like it could be like an old foundation or something like that. So all I'm saying is basically, and even out here, to get even farther out, I mean, this is getting pretty far out. What the heck is that? Is there really something there? Again, where's that Google Earth? I can't tell, guys, but I can tell you this, that I've caught fish off of this point. So definitely get out here and fish around it, especially in the fall time. That's going to be a really good area to hopefully be able for you guys to be able to locate some fish. And there should be some shell beds there too, just based on the way the wind blows down this lake. You get a north-south wind, they've got to collect up there somewhere. We're going to keep moving down. This point looked interesting, but I didn't see any really hard cover on it, so I skipped over it. Got some more shallow rock there. Got another boat ramp back in here. Some more shallow rock, and then we're going to get back here into this little cove back in here. When we get back in here, we're going to see that we find some debris off the edge right in here. Now, if I pull the water up, this looks a little bit different. So you can see now we've got some rock and stuff like that that's there now. So definitely a good area here, and that ramp looks like it comes out pretty deep too. So you got some pretty good depth on your ramp. So I'm going to move this back up. We're going to keep moving over. Next thing we're going to find up here is going to be this brush pile, and it's right outside of this dock. I don't even know if you can see it in here. Let me see if I can get a better image. This thing's messing with this again. But there's a brush pile there. I promise you I could see. I found it the time I put it in there, but go check out that spot. I can't get it to come up on the image right now for some reason, but there's a brush pile right outside of that dock you can check out. And then right here off this point, I didn't mark it, but I'd probably check that out and just see what that is. Couldn't tell if that was a brush pile or not, so I didn't put anything there, but I'd check it out. This little point back in here could be a good little staging area too, so you could go check that out. Again, didn't mark it, but a place you might want to explore. This point right here, this point just sets up good. I mean, let's think about it. If the bass were the migrating bass, right, the ones that move a lot. So if they were all coming up here on the points and hanging out in the summertime, and a little bit farther out, maybe in the summertime as well, and then they come in here and they hang out on this point for a while, and then they go back. Well, they're the perfect stopping spot for them, especially with the food coming into the back of these coves, is right here. So this has got to be a good point. There's not a lot of rock and stuff on it, but when you get out here, you start seeing there's some debris and stuff on it as well. So I'm telling you, that's going to be a good point. It just sets up really good. And if they're really far back there, they've gone way far back there, you want to look at this little point back here, because that's just a perfect little secondary stopping spot. They can go from here to here to here, and those are just really good stopping spots for them. So I would definitely, in the springtime, getting into the spring, coming into early spring, those are going to be areas that you're going to want to take a look at. You've also got some rocks back in here behind these docks, some debris that's back over here. You'll see here, I'm going to zoom in here. Looks like some tires, maybe some laydowns. I have no idea. People put all kinds of junk in the water, but that could be a little crappie spot right there. So I'll zoom out real quick and show you guys in case you're getting confused on where I'm at. I'm just above the dam, and I'm going to be in the very third pocket of this little finger thing that comes out here, and it's right there behind those dots. All right, so I'm going to move on up. We got some debris that's off of this point. Looks like an old foundation, maybe. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe even an old road. Could be a road going this way, but I can't tell. But something's definitely there. There's concrete there, so go check that out. That could be a good offshore. Again, move that to 2022. Yeah. Now it's a little bit better, little offshore spot. Not that deep, but just deep enough to keep them out there. So let's move on back. We're going to talk a little bit more. These little points all looked interesting, but unfortunately just not a lot of stuff on them, some cover on them and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. But this one has a little brush pile on it or some kind of debris. So go check out that one. And that one might be productive. And then moving down here, we just get off of this little point. There was a laydown that was out here. Nothing too spectacular, but that's got to be a good point. I don't ever remember fishing that point. I'm sure I have, but that's got to be a good point to fish as well. And in fact, this has all changed now, and this is going to look a lot different. So I'll show you guys what this looked like before, and then I'm going to show you guys what it looked like after. So we're in 2016 right now, so you can see there's no pump station here. There's really nothing here. Or maybe there was a pump station there, but it's just hidden in the trees. But this whole landscape right in here is going to change pretty quickly. So we'll run back down through this, but we've got some rock that's right in here. And if I remember right, there were some stick-ups and things that were kind of along this bank line, but I think I'm thinking of a different lake. So then I'm going to pull this back and just show you guys this since we're down here by the dam. I'm going to move it up to 2022. And you can see that whole little area changed. They built this full-on pump station that's out here. So you've got some different stuff that's out here now than what was there before. You got these points with some debris off the points, but this is super stinking shallow. I'm telling you, it's like really shallow. Even back in here, you're getting pretty shallow. Back in there, you got a little bit of rocks back in there. Got some rocks back in here, but there should be some sort of a ledge somewhere in here where they dug all this out. So it might be worth just coming up in here and scanning around, just seeing if you can find anything in those areas. Then we're going to move down here. We got some more rock right along in, excuse me, right along in there. And then we're going to move up, and right out here, we've got some potential shell beds. So how do I know? Well, let's draw this back to 2016, and I'll show you. Bam. So anytime you see all those birds, typically those birds are hanging around the shells and stuff like that. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just stupid birds and just fly and land wherever. But a lot of times there's a reason why they're landing there, so they can peck around and do their little things. And so you want to check out this area. This is very similar to those other offshore areas that we're seeing. Here's those little black dots again. They're not sure if they're birds or what they are, but whatever it is, those birds seem to be somewhat attracted to them. Now, again, those could just be birds there, but this looks like a potential hard area that's coming off, coming out of the deeper water as well. So definitely potential for some shell beds and things to be out there. There's some other things out here too, like this little hump that's hidden in here. So this would be a good area to just go and scan around and just see what the fish are relating to. See if you can find the bait fish. Find the bait fish, you'll find the other fish as well. And then last but not least, we get down here to the dam, and that wraps us up for Cedar Creek. So I appreciate you guys setting through all those videos with me, 5 different videos for Cedar Creek, but hopefully it really helped you out. Hopefully it helps put you guys on some fish this year. Please make sure to go out and check out my website, simplisticfishing.com. I've got all these waypoints plus the offshore waypoints put onto an SD card for you, so you can just plug it into your graph and have the lake broke down right there for you when you go out there. So go check it out, simplisticfishing.com, and don't forget to go check out our sponsor, Omnia Fishing. I've got the link in the description. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.